before you come out, let me make sure.
I don't want you to back
Wait,
out.
let me just make sure it's good before you come out. Hold on,
listen.
man.
What's up, Shaq? Can you get a bigger car? No way. That's your car?
My new name is Diesel, the only big nigga with a Corvette.
Imagine walking into a dealership at 7 feet 1 inch and 325 pounds. The salesman says, "So, sir, are you looking for something compact and fuel efficient?" Shaq just laughs. Because when you're built like a literal skyscraper in sneakers, a compact car is basically a roller skate. That's why Shaq's garage isn't just a car collection. It's a hall of fame of what happens when normal cars cry for mercy. Every ride is chopped, stretched, reimagined, and dipped in Shaq sauce until it's big enough to make a Hummer look insecure. Today we're diving into 17 of the most jaw-dropping cars Diesel has ever owned. From electric luxury spaceships to Ferraris with more surgery than a Hollywood actor. Buckle up because Shaq's motto is simple. If it doesn't fit, make it fit. Number 1. The Lucid Air Sedan. The Lucid Air is already a luxury EV masterpiece. Think Tesla Model S, but with a master's degree in engineering. But Shaq? He looked at this futuristic sedan and said, "Cute, but my knees still touch the dashboard." Enter West Coast Customs. They took this sleek 4-door sedan, chopped off the rear doors, and turned it into a 2-door coupe with massive airplane-style front doors so Shaq could glide in like he owns the runway. Oh, and they swapped the Lucid badge for one that says Diesel. Because of course. Under the hood, even the slowest version pushes 620 horsepower. That's enough to make this big electric beast rocket from 0 to 60 in just 3 seconds. But the real upgrade here isn't the speed. It's the fact Shaq can finally drive it without performing human origami. But Shaq doesn't just want space. He wants style, stealth, and enough screens inside to feel like NASA. Number 2. Cadillac Escalade IQ. This thing is less of a car and more of a rolling penthouse. The Escalade IQ is Cadillac's new electric giant, and Shaq wasted no time turning it into something out of a sci-fi movie. He had it blacked out, slammed onto 26-inch Forgiato wheels, and kitted with a Rolls-Royce-style Starlight headliner. Inside, a 55-inch curved display stretching across the dashboard. That's about 3 of Shaq's shoes in length for perspective. Power? A twin-motor setup making up to 750 horsepower. This Escalade moves faster than you'd expect for something the size of a studio apartment. Starting price is $130,000, but you already know Shaq didn't settle for base trim. He went top-spec sport too, because why not? But SUVs are just the warm-up. When Shaq wants something that screams post-apocalyptic tank, he brings out the Cybertruck. Number 3. Tesla Cybertruck Cyberbeast. The Cybertruck already looks like it was designed by a 12-year-old with a ruler. But Shaq wasn't settling for stock. He bought not one, but 2 Cyberbeasts. One for his primary home and one for Vegas. Because apparently one bulletproof triangle isn't enough. His version? Carbon fiber bodywork, extra cabin space, and speed that'll melt your brain. We're talking 0 to 62 miles per hour in just 2.6 seconds. From a pickup truck. Imagine getting smoked at a stoplight by something that looks like a steel Dorito. And fun fact, Shaq wasn't even the first NBA player to get one. LeBron bought one too, but returned it when the dealer leaked it online. Shaq swooped in and said, "I'll take it." Classic Diesel. Now, let's leave the future behind and squeeze Shaq into something no one thought possible. A Ferrari. Number 4. Ferrari 355 F1 Spider. A Ferrari is basically a low-slung rocket designed for skinny Italians. So how does a 7-foot 1-inch giant fit? By ripping out half the car. Shaq's 1998 Ferrari 355 F1 Spider had its roof permanently removed. What he calls a forever convertible. The fuel tank? Relocated to the front just to make room for his legs. The seats? Pushed back 9 inches and swapped for extra-wide racing buckets embroidered with Superman logos. And because Shaq doesn't do quiet, he had a high-end Alpine sound system installed. Because when the V8 isn't loud enough, you need subwoofers that can rattle the Earth's crust. But if you think that was extreme, wait until you see Shaq in a 3-wheeler. Number 5. Vanderhall Venice Roadster. Picture Shaq in a 3-wheeled autocycle. Sounds ridiculous, right? Yet, somehow, he fits. The Vanderhall Venice isn't even technically a car. No roof, no doors, 3 wheels. But it's surprisingly roomy. Shaq's version got an extended chassis, but it still zips around thanks to a 1.5-liter turbo engine. And get this, it cost him only around $30,000. That's pocket change compared to his other rides. He was first spotted cruising through LA in it, blasting XXXTentacion, enjoying the open air. Proof that sometimes Shaq doesn't need a 6-figure monster to turn heads. But don't get too comfortable because his next ride is basically a nightclub on wheels. Number 6, Chevrolet Express, G1500. Van at first glance, a Chevy van doesn't scream celebrity flex. But this isn't your uncle's plumbing van. Shaq's G1500 was fully customized with Louis Vuitton leather, 20-inch rims, air suspension, and, wait for it, a 100-inch projector screen inside. Yeah, a literal movie theater on wheels. It even had an Xbox because what's the point of being chauffeured if you can't play Halo in the back? The whole thing was dripping with Superman logos, naturally. Despite its wild build, the van only sold for around $30,000 after Shaq let it go. Which is insane considering the customization cost probably doubled that. But when Shaq wants a truck, he doesn't go F-150, he goes straight to industrial size. Number 7, Ford F-650. Super truck. This thing isn't a pickup, it's a rolling skyscraper. Normally used for hauling equipment or towing houses, Shaq's Ford F-650 became a luxury cruiser. It's powered by a 6.7-liter turbo diesel V8 with 330 horsepower and 750 pound-feet of torque. That's enough to tow a yacht. Or, a couple of Shaq's smaller cars. Inside, it's first-class luxury. Heated leather seats, premium finishes, infotainment screens everywhere. The price? About $124,000. But when you're Shaq, that's basically lunch money. Speaking of Escalades, let's rewind to when Shaq made the ultimate early 2000s flex. Number 8, 2002 Cadillac Escalade. Nothing screamed "you made it" in the early 2000s like a Cadillac Escalade. Fresh off his 3rd Lakers championship, Shaq celebrated by going wild with his own. We're talking 26-inch wheels, scissor doors, a burgundy and black paint job, and a sound system with 8 12-inch subwoofers. You could hear Shaq arriving before you saw him. Inside, he added a Rolls-Royce-style Starlight headliner. Because if you're 7 feet 1 inch, the only stars you should see are the ones in your car roof. But Shaq doesn't just celebrate with Escalades. For his 50th birthday, he went Hellcat hunting. Number 9, Dodge Charger SRT. Hellcat. What do you get a man who has everything? A red custom Dodge Charger Hellcat with Lamborghini-style scissor doors. Stock Hellcats already push 700-plus horsepower from a supercharged V8, but Shaq added custom rims, red accents, and flashy doors that flip up like a supercar. Because of course a regular door isn't enough of an entrance for Shaq. But Hellcats weren't his only drop-top flex. Enter the convertible S-Class. Number 10, Mercedes-Benz S550. Convertible. Most people look at a Mercedes S-Class and say, wow, that's luxury. Shaq looked at it and said, needs more legroom and suicide doors. He sent it to tuners in Germany, who stretched it, chopped the roof, and added rear hinge doors. Finished in pearl white with tan leather, it's basically a rolling yacht. Now picture Shaq trying to fit into a Lamborghini Gallardo. Spoiler, he didn't, so he built his own. Number 11, Lamborghini Gallardo, Shaq-arado. The Gallardo is tiny, Shaq is not. So he had a shop literally stretch the car by a full foot, lengthening the chassis, roof, windows, and doors. The result? From the outside, it looked stock, but inside, Shaq could actually sit without folding like origami. Car guys call it the Shaq-arado, and it's one of the wildest custom jobs in supercar history. But if you think that's crazy, let's move to a Dodge Challenger that looks like it belongs in Fast and Furious 27. Number 12, Dodge Challenger, RT convertible, Shaq-cat. Take a normal Challenger, rip off the roof, stuff a Hellcat engine inside, and light it up with red LEDs. That's the Shaq-cat. 707 horsepower, a silver and black body with Hemi decals and underglow lighting that makes it look like a video game cheat code. The interior? custom black leather, and enough space to make Shaq feel comfortable. But Shaq didn't stop there. He decided 2 seats weren't enough. So he rebuilt a 3-wheeler into a 4-seater. Number 13. Polaris Slingshot. Sling Shaq. Normally, the Polaris Slingshot is a 2-seat toy. Shaq had his customized into a 4-seater with an 18-speaker sound system, quilted leather seats, and ice blue LED lights. It was so loud and flashy that people nicknamed it the Sling Shack. Because if your 3-wheeler doesn't double as a nightclub, are you even living? Speaking of looking like a movie prop, Shaq literally bought one. Number 14. Vador Roadster. The Vador Roadster looks like something Batman would drive on vacation. Built on an Infiniti G35, it's a kit car with dramatic bodywork that landed in the Suicide Squad movie. Shaq had one custom built in Florida, complete with aggressive styling and mystery power upgrades. He eventually sold it because when you're Shaq, there's always something bigger around the corner. And speaking of bigger, let's talk about a custom Jeep that looks like a limo. Number 15. Jeep Wrangler. West Coast Customs took a standard Jeep Wrangler and stretched it 20 inches, fusing the doors together into massive limo-style panels. They added off-road lights, custom bumpers, and beefy wheels. The end result? A Wrangler that looked like it could survive an apocalypse, if the apocalypse required extra legroom for a 7-foot giant. But sometimes Shaq trades rugged for refined. Number 16. Bentley. Azure Bentleys are already luxury personified, but when Shaq bought one, he literally couldn't turn the wheel without smashing his knee. Solution? West Coast Customs re-engineered the entire driver's side. New seating position, pedal placement, everything. It fit him perfectly. Until he sold it. Because apparently Shaq gets bored of cars faster than most of us get bored of leftovers. And finally, the grand finale. Number 17. Mercedes-Benz S-Class Convertible, custom West Coast build. This one wasn't even real. Shaq saw a digital render of a stretched S-Class with suicide doors and told West Coast Customs, make it real. So they chopped a sedan, turned it into a convertible, stretched it, added massive chrome wheels and suicide doors. The end result looked like a gangster car from the 1930s fused with a luxury yacht. And of course, Shaq eventually sold it back. Because for Diesel, cars are just toys. And that's Shaq's supersized collection. Part luxury garage, part circus freak show, all 100% Shaq. From stretched Lambos to nightclub 3-wheelers, his rides are as extra as the man himself. So tell me, which one's your favorite? The Shaq-arado Lamborghini? The Sling Shack party trike? Or maybe the rolling movie theater van? Drop it in the comments. And hey, if you enjoyed this wild ride, smash that like button, subscribe for more insane automotive deep dives, and hit the bell so you never miss a chance to see how the rich and famous roll, literally.